Welcome to the podcast of CreateConnectConvert.co, a community of empowered businesswomen by empowered businesswomen. Let's dig in.
Hi, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Create, Connect, Convert podcast. We're so happy to see you here, whether you're watching us on YouTube or you're listening to us on your earphones. As you're jogging, as you're walking, I always like listening to podcasts while I'm walking. All right, so I am Regina Garay. I'm here with Laura Templeton and Kristy, Crippen, my partners in crime in this podcast. And if you don't mind, could you each introduce yourselves and tell us a little bit about yourself? Let's start with Laura.
Hey, thank you so much. It's great to be here again. I'm Laura Templeton with 30 Second Success. I'm an author, speaker, and the creator of 30 Second Success, Ditch the Pitch and Start Connecting. It's a beautiful platform helping people really understand how to communicate with their ideal clients, connect more deeply regarding your emotions, and start converting to that client engagement that you deserve. So I love helping small business owners, professionals, and emerging leaders in that college space really define what their message is, what their brand is, and how they want to communicate it to the world.
Thank you, Laura. And Kristy, you're up.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back. I am Kristy Crippen. I'm your thought partner and the founder of Collaborative Partners, and I provide dedicated and collaborative support to purpose-driven entrepreneurs and small business owners who are looking for that supportive partner in their business. They need help with things like thinking things through, navigating through the challenges of their business, help with productivity challenges and time management issues and organization. Where is that file that I keep looking for? And they're also looking for someone to help keep them in check with accountability and habit structure. My mission is to help provide the strategy and the structure that entrepreneurs and small business owners are craving in their businesses. And with that partnership, I help take them from feeling overwhelmed to overjoyed in their business.
Excellent. Thank you. Both good. I love both your companies. They're so wonderful, and I love referring people to you both because I just find it so important. And to finish up and talking about myself, I'm a digital marketing manager and educator. I help you either manage your digital marketing for you, or I teach you how to do this. I primarily work in the design and construction industry, but I've helped a lot of small business owners in other industries and nonprofits make their marketing manageable. And segueing into our topic for today, it's finding your marketing sweet spot. When I say that, what comes to mind when I say find your marketing sweet spot? What comes to your head?
Immediately, it's like what feels good, right? What feels good? What do I feel like I'm confident in creating and putting out into the world, and where do I like to play,
Mhm.
right? Because for me, if marketing is not fun and it's not playful, I might shy away from it. I know myself. I will not do it if it's not fun and playful. So for me, it's really finding what works best, what feels good, what gets traction, and where my audience is hanging out.
You're right, because when people talk about marketing, I'm telling you, 90% of the time it's like, ugh, marketing, it's like, oh my God, you just reminded me I haven't posted on social media in like 2 weeks, or it's just like a dread, and so
Yes.
it's when you're talking about finding that marketing sweet spot, for me, it's like the ease, and along with knowing exactly what you're doing and what's happening and what you can expect. So it's a little bit of both, the education and the fun part. But I agree, it should definitely be fun. And it is fun. Kristy, what does finding your marketing sweet spot mean to you?
It it's funny because
Not doing it. No.
it's it's funny because I I thought, gosh, a lot of people are going to hear this question and just feel a pit in their stomach and go, I don't know, I don't know. Sweet spot. Oh, something sweet. I think I could go for some chocolate. That sounds good. And I'll just forget about all this marketing stuff because I don't know what I'm doing and I don't know how to go about doing it. I I think for a lot of people it feels multi-layered and there's a lot of depth to it and they don't feel like they know how to navigate it on their own. It feels like it's a big vast ocean or it could feel like a minefield. But I think that once you really dedicate yourself to figuring it out, and especially if you bring somebody in to help you on that journey and to get crystal clear and to really distill it down and just nail it down and then it's like discovering this part of yourself that was waiting to get unlocked and to be unleashed to the world.
This is true because small business owners, I mean, we're a pretty smart group because, we put together our businesses, we grow it, we move it forward. But I find that once people understand what marketing can be or what it does or what these things mean, they're like, oh, okay, now I understand it and now I move forward and now I can. So you're absolutely right, Christy, in that the education eases a lot of that stress, off of it. All right. So I've got my handy dandy questions here on finding your marketing sweet spot. How can you tell if someone is doing too much? Like, what does it feel too much, or that you're spending energy on the wrong platforms? How can someone tell? How can a small business person tell? Anyone?
Exhaustion. Exhaustion, right? When you get to that point where you're like, I don't want to do this anymore, right? I just need somebody else to do it for me. Um, or you just feel like like all over the place and you're scattered, right? I think one of the biggest things that I realized a few years ago is I was trying to be on every single platform that was out there, whether I was getting engagement or not, whether I was connecting with the right people or not. I was like trying to be on every platform because that's what I thought I had to do.
Mhm.
And then I finally, somebody wisely, and I don't remember who it was, and it might have been a video I was watching about social media and how to streamline it, right? How to set up a system that felt right to me. They had like the brilliance light bulb. You ever see the light bulb above your head just kind of go off in
Yes.
that moment? Like I physically saw the light bulb above my head. And it was literally, you don't have to be everywhere, just be where your people are. I was like, when you know where your audience is hanging out and how they like to consume their content, that's where you need to be and what you need to be doing. And that was a game changer for me. And it gave me so much more time freedom because I wasn't trying to be on every platform anymore. I wasn't trying to check every platform for engagement. I was, because I'm one of those people that if somebody comments, I have to comment back. It's like I love engagement on my
Good
stuff.
practice. Mhm.
And that's where it's like I thrive on that. So I was spending so much time on social media, I wasn't getting my work done because it was everywhere. And
Mhm.
then once I was able to identify which platforms my ideal clients love, that's where I'm hanging out. So, and it made a big difference. It made that big shift. And I think that's when people feel overwhelmed, that's when it's time to evaluate if you're on the right platform.
This is true because a lot of people are like, oh, TikTok is this, or Threads, or, all these different platforms. And I find that a lot of people don't take the time to find out the demographics of each platform. Who does TikTok serve? What is their largest audience? What is their age range? What kind
Yeah,
of content works best on that platform? And,
right.
if you have your target audience, I keep saying this, I think on every podcast that we do, but if you have your target audience and you look at those demographics, you start narrowing down the platforms where your people are at. Um, and that, for me, it's like, once you start narrowing that down, now you've got like, okay, I went from like, I'm just going to throw out a number 10 to 5, and then how do I continue to narrow it down from there is something we're going to talk about next. But Kristy, how do you know that you're spending the wrong energy, the too much, the spending energy on the wrong platforms? How does that work for you? Where
Mm. If you feel like you will become at risk of burning out if you stay on the current trajectory you're on, that's a big red flag. We are spoiled for choice in terms of how many different programs and platforms and channels are out there. And there's communities that we're in, and you have to be so judicious with how you spend your time because it's if you look at the whole process from ideation through to engaging on social media with commenters or the community where just engaging with commenters wherever you place it, and checking your analytics, that is a multi-pronged process.
Mhm.
And it takes a lot of time. And if you really step back and assess how much time does each one of these pieces take you on average? And then if you look at what is your own value? What is your own time worth? Are you worth $50 an hour? Are you worth $200 an hour? Whatever your worth is, are you spending your time in the best possible way? Um, and the two of you brought up so many great points because how often do we have somebody say, "Oh, you should be on X," or we're not necessarily X as in Twitter, but you should be on this, and then you think, "Oh, well, that person said it, and I keep hearing about it, and I keep reading about it, so clearly I should be on it," and not necessarily. If your people aren't
Yes.
there, don't go there.
Mhm.
You know, if you have to look at what's the energy of this space. Um, are your people there? Um, and then if you're not getting the results, why aren't you getting the results? Because maybe the mindset of the people who are there, they're not going to be interested in what you're offering. So you're not going to get that ROI that you're looking for. I know a lot of people who are not on Facebook and Instagram, LinkedIn. They're on other platforms or they're in other communities. That's because that's where their people are. And so I think you have to really be true to yourself. You have to guard your time ferociously.
That's true. And it's, going into what Laura, one of the things that Laura specializes in, which is AI. If you are looking for those demographics for the platforms, you can ask ChatGPT, correct, to pull it together and say, can you tell me the demographics? This is who I serve. Or you can step outside and go to Google and have it Google. There's different platforms like HubSpot and all the, Metricool and all that. They have blogs. They likely have all the demographics, and even each platform can provide those for you. So, yes, go ahead, Christy. Jump in.
I just wanted to say, I remember Laura gave a presentation. This was in the last couple of years, Laura, and there was a slide where you took the same subject matter and you applied it to each one of the major, like social media platforms and different spaces. And it was so cool to see the same subject matter and how it was filtered through each one of those platforms. And all of a sudden my brain said, "Oh, I get it now." It was brilliant.
Yep.
Yep,
Yeah,
because
and I think that's the biggest thing. You have to remember that each platform has a um different approach, right? You want to be writing in a way that speaks to the audience that's there, even though it's your audience, right? The framework for how people consume the content on each platform is slightly different. Right. And I think that's the biggest thing that people don't understand. How are you writing? Are you writing, number one, are you writing for your audience? Right. So you want to make sure that you're always writing for your target audience. And number two, whatever platform that you are using, you want to make sure that you are using a framework that is congruent with the platform itself and how the platform likes to um, use their algorithm to audit your content to make sure that it gets seen properly. And I think that's the big, that's one of the things that a lot of people don't think about. And it's making sure that it's written in a way that people love to consume. And I know that's one of your questions, Regina, and I'm excited about diving into that part too,
Oh, as a
regarding.
matter of fact, I love what you're saying because I'm going to give an example. On Pinterest, you're able to auto feed your Instagram posts onto Pinterest. So it brings in your image and it brings in your copy and it puts it up as a pin. And to many people, they're like, yay, it's less work for me. However, the way that you speak on Instagram is incredibly different than the way that you would speak on Pinterest. So the copy that's coming in is not ideal for making that Pinterest algorithm work for you. I mean, it might be, but in the very rare instance that you're kind of, but if you're writing for Pinterest, it's not really great for Instagram. So what you're saying is incredibly true because if you were to do that for Pinterest, then you'd have to go back and redo that copy or make it very clear that this is coming from Instagram.
Yeah,
So
but you can also use AI to help you rewrite something, right?
absolutely.
If
Yeah.
you've written content specifically for LinkedIn, you can go take it into AI and say, can you rewrite this post for Pinstagram or yeah, Pinstagram?
We've created a new platform. I actually like that. Instagram.
I know, right? I will actually use AI for creating the alt text for my images for Instagram because a lot of people are not using that particular function the way it should be done. But you want to make sure that when you're posting images that you are creating alt text for it, and that's just a description of the image itself. And there's reasons why you want to use that alt text, especially specifically for people who are sight challenged, right? I have, that's one of the things. I have a really dear friend who has two sons that were born with very limited sight. And that alt text, it's always been something that spoke to my heart, like to make sure that I'm putting alt text wherever I have the opportunity, like my website, on my Instagram, it's like one of those things that just pops up like, oh yeah, I can fill that in, right? You don't think about it. But it's important. It's important to have that as part of your thought process, right? And I think that's where systems comes in. I really love to hear Kristy's ideas on creating systems around social media.
All right. So thank you. Thank you. Okay. So going back to that finding that marketing sweet spot, what signs should a business owner look for that a marketing channel is a good fit for them? Kristy, you want to take this on? Laura?
Laura, do you want to start speaking on that?
I can tell you, I can jump in and tell you one of the things for me. And this is going back to what you said, Laura, earlier about fun. And this is, you have to figure out what you like to do. Do you like to record videos? Do you like to take images? Do you like to write long, paragraphs of information? If so, a newsletter might be for you. Do you like to share little bits of information about current events or what's happening? Maybe X, formerly Twitter, might be good for you. So you also, when you've got, we talked about those 10 streamlining down to 5. When you look at those 5 and what the content works best for each of them, what do you actually like to do?
And I think
That's
that's the biggest thing. Again, it comes down to fun and being playful, right? Do you like writing? Some people don't like writing, so
yeah.
that's where the advantage of being really good at being creative with your prompts with AI is going to be a benefit to a lot of people who don't like writing, right? So whether it's you're creating social media posts, or you're creating blogs, or you're creating email, where are you sharing your content? Written content is great, but why not just record a video if you don't like writing? Or go into AI and say, this is what I'm trying to create, this is what it's for, this is how I'm using it, this is what I want to talk about. Can you help me create a post on this? Or can you help me create a blog about this topic? You've got great ideas, but sometimes it's really hard to formulate them into words. And now we have a tool that we can use to help us create the content that we've been struggling to put down on paper for a really long time. And I think that's where a lot of people are starting to embrace the idea that AI can really help us formulate more ideas and thoughts and create a really solid direction for our business. But again, just like anything else, you need to make sure that it understands your values, your voice, how you speak, who you want to work with. It has to know who you are in order to give you content that really speaks in your voice, right? Really speaks as if it's you. And that's just as important when it comes to finding your sweet. Where do you want to show up, right? Doing that research and really understanding how your ideal clients like to consume content is really important. So if you find three different ways that your ideal clients like to consume content, but you only like to create one of them, well, then just create that one.
Mhm. That's finding your marketing sweet spot there.
Yep,
Is it?
exactly.
Yeah. Okay. So I want to, take note of our time. So I'm going to recap what finding your marketing sweet spot is. The first is platforms. Take 15, 20 minutes to see the demographics of each platform and match that to your audience. The second is what Laura brought in, fun. What do you like to do for fun? What do you like to create? And then start matching it to those platforms that fit your audience. And the third, which Kristy talked about, time management, looking at you creating A all the way to community and engagement and seeing how much time this is going to take you and then, streamline it there. So those three together create your marketing sweet spot. Yay? Nay? Good?
Absolutely. I love it. I love it. I love it. And one of the things that I really did want to touch on, and I think this is really important for a lot of people to understand. Don't be afraid to be different,
Yes.
right? If you are showing up on a platform and your content is really different from everybody else, don't let anybody tell you in the DMs like, "Oh, your content's not appropriate here." If your audience is there, if your ideal clients are there, you can bet that they are going to gravitate to your client, to your content.
Hmm.
So don't be afraid to be different on a platform that, and the reason why I'm saying this is I have a really dear friend who was posting some very personal stories on LinkedIn, which is supposed to be for business. And she had people commenting and saying that it was really great content. They really resonated with it. And then she had one person who messaged her privately and told her what she was sharing was inappropriate. LinkedIn was a place for people to find jobs, and she shouldn't be posting her personal life on LinkedIn. She got really upset. So but when we looked at all the comments from other people, they were thanking her for sharing what she was sharing. Right. So you have to discount that one person that might have taken issue and be different. Right. I think sometimes different attracts the right clients as long as you're speaking to your target audience.
I love that
Mhm.
because it's really what it is all about today is being yourself, being honest, being transparent, being, truthful, um, just showing up as yourself, and yes, if, and it depends on the small business. If that small business is you and that's who you are, then absolutely show your colors, show who you are. If it's the brand, and that brand has products or services that are, related to that, then by all means honor that, so I agree that they should show up and a lot of people will be judgmental about it. It's kind of like I think some celebrities have said there could be 100 people in the room, 99 love you, one doesn't, and you just listen to that one, and that derails you. Thank you for saying that, Laura, because it's true. In finding your marketing sweet spot, make sure that you do you. Yeah. Go ahead, Kristy. Yeah.
I'll say this quickly. I love what Laura said, and then how you, on the back of that, said about the authenticity, because people
That's what
really
I was looking for. Thank you. Thank you.
people really feel when you are authentic and you're not, and it's not canned and it's not scripted, and because then they're going to wonder, well, who's the real you? Say that they say, well, I see that this person offers services that I need and would solve my pain points. I should consider hiring this person. But then in the back of their mind, if they're thinking, is this really who this person is? Like, is there a smoke screen between who you are as an authentic, genuine person and what you're putting out on social media? If there's a disconnect, you're going to drive people away. Um, one point that I thought of that I just wanted to share is, say that you're someone who loves to write blog posts, and you're thinking, you know, I've been writing blogs forever, but I'm thinking it would be nice to branch out and do something different. Look at that single piece of content and then how can that be repurposed into other means of communication. So maybe you could take one small snippet of that blog post and record a quick little video of yourself and say, hey guys, are you struggling with this, and this? Or one of the big questions I get all the time is, how do you handle ABC in your business? I just wrote a great new blog post that goes into this very topic. Click the link in my bio and learn more. And maybe it takes you 30 seconds to film that video. And now it's a way for you to stretch yourself and evolve potentially into this more expansive business owner, because you're trying something new, and just try it out and see how it feels. Maybe you end up loving doing videos and you never in a million years thought you would. And that's another way for this single piece of content to do heavy lifting in your business, because it can be repurposed in really cool ways.
I love that. That is a part of the marketing sweet spot, is how to use the content that you already have and repurpose it and save yourself time.
Yeah.
Love that. I love how we went from the brain and the strategy of everything and then to the heart of authenticity, like the gamut that we went around. Okay, well, that is the end of our episode. Thank you so much for joining us. Laura, I'm going to have you take it from here and bring us home.
Thank you so much for being with us. Don't forget to subscribe and like, and be sure to come back here for the next episode. We love sharing our thoughts with you. And if you have a comment, please share it with us. I'm Laura Templeton, here with Regina Garay and Kristy Crippen. Thank you again for joining us. And don't forget, always be creating, always be connecting, and never stop converting your dreams into reality.
Bye, everyone.
And that's a wrap for today's episode of CreateConnectConvert.co. We hope you're feeling inspired, empowered, and ready to make your next bold move. Remember, the journey doesn't end here. Head over to CreateConnectConvert.co to download our latest resources, sign up for our upcoming events, or hop on the wait list for our exclusive mastermind community. There's a seat at the table waiting just for you. Thank you for tuning in, and be sure to click like and subscribe. We'll see you back here next week to dive into another game-changing conversation. And here's a little something to carry you until then. Keep creating, keep connecting, and never stop converting your dreams into reality.